Barbie and Ken. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Boy, have I got a story for you. This is one you have never heard before because it's the first time it has ever been told. It was 1965 and I was just 4 years old. I'm a lot older now, but I remember this just like it was yesterday. Hi, my name is Skipper. I am Barbie's little sister, and I witnessed the entire event that you're about to hear. I was adopted on Christmas Day, and when I came into this house, it was a beautiful 3-story dollhouse. There was Barbie there, and she became my sister. Now, life was really good for me and Barbie, and we had lots of fun together. I played with my toys, and she mostly played with her hair, and she did her makeup, and she had lots and lots of fun with me. I soon discovered that Barbie had a ton of stuff. She had 200 purses and 500 pairs of high-heeled shoes, which I absolutely loved to run around in. I also tried on her clothes when she was not looking. I sure enjoyed that time. She had so many outfits. She had the accessories. She had the camper and the tent and the bike. She had everything. It was a ball. She also had tiny little hangers for all of her clothes, all of those wonderful outfits. She also had the tight-fitting Angora sweaters to show off her little figure. And oh, did she have a wonderful figure. A few years later, in 1968, she got bendable knees. You all remember that, don't you? She was stunningly beautiful, but there's something I need to tell you about Barbie. She was no Princess Barbie. You know what? If I had a word to describe her, it would be bitch. She was every woman's worst nightmare. Now, you never knew this because you never saw it when she was on TV because her handlers wouldn't let it be known. It wasn't in any of the books. She was always perfect, the American princess. Now, Barbie knew how to use what Mother Nature gave her before Father Time took it away. She thought it was better to have beauty than brains. Do you know why? Because she knew that the guys could see better than they could think. Everything was going along just fine. We had a great time together. Mostly I did her hair and I did her makeup, but the real reason was because her face was her real face was a work of fiction. You did not want to see it. So things were moving along just fine, but all of a sudden Christmas came and everything changed. Because that Christmas morning in walked Ken. Tall, blonde, blue-eyed, and oh, so good looking. And the minute he saw Barbie, he was Twitter-pated. He was so in love. Well, they forgot to tell Ken that girls like Barbie are easy on the eyes, but hard on the heart. He would find that out. Ken chased Barbie until she caught him. And then they dated, and he did everything right. He took her to dancing lessons. He learned how to play the guitar for her. He did everything she asked, but no matter what, it was never good enough for our dear Miss Barbie. All of a sudden, he started to be real quiet. He never talked. Barbie really liked that because she thought he was listening. in walked Christy, who was another doll who would live in our dollhouse. Now Christy was not at all like Barbie. She did not have the same good looks, and she didn't have that wonderful figure, but she was fun, and she was great company, and everybody loved to be around her. Even G.I. Joe and Mr. Potato Head came to play with her. They did not come to play with Barbie, not ever. And you know what? Christy had a very dry sense of humor. I never saw anything like the moment when Christy and Barbie's eyes first met. There was that moment, and ladies, you all know it because you get so excited when you meet a woman who's fatter than you are. Well, those two women were not fat. And when those girls' eyes met, the whole world stood still. And it was a look that two women give each other when they know there is no knife around anywhere where they can stab them in the back. This was a moment. And the duel was on. Well, it didn't take long for Ken to find out what a wonderful girl Christy was. He started spending more and more time with her because he didn't really enjoy Barbie so much. And then Barbie started to throw a tantrum. They started to outdress one another. It was a full-on wardrobe cat fight. Now, you know, ladies, you only dress to annoy other women. That was exactly what was happening. It drove us nuts. Well, Ken got so crazy over this, it drove him nuts. And Barbie decided that she was going to send Christy to all the dangerous missions. She would keep all the good ones for herself, and she'd send Christy to all the other ones. And so Christy had to be the astronaut. She had to go to the moon and be there for a couple of weeks and come back down to be in contamination. Then she had to be on a Russian sub. And then they made her be this stupid Oriental Barbie with a dumb chopstick stuck in her head. And Ken just went crazy. But I'll tell you what, anytime there was a royal ball or anything with a ball gun involved, Barbie kept that for herself. Well, Ken gave more and more of his attentions to Christy, and Christy was really the woman of his dreams. He decided to go on all those missions with her. And boy, did that infuriate Barbie. Barbie took all of her clothes. She shredded them all up. And she baked them into cupcakes. In her Easy Bake Oven, of course. And she fed them to Mr. Potato Head and Mr. G.I. Joe. I tell you what, she put bleach in her shampoo and she deleted all the contacts out of her cell phone, let me tell you. And she threw her shoes at her all the time. And you know how many shoes she had? It was an endless supply. So, anyway, it all went crazy. And finally one day, Barbie decided that she would end it, and she actually had loaned her Jeep to Ken to go pick up Christy after she'd gotten home from a space shuttle mission in the middle of a blizzard. And so he went to get her, brought her back, but on the way back, Barbie had them both arrested. And that was when Ken knew this was never going to work. Actually, Ken and Barbie were supposed to be pretend married on TV the very next week. What we knew was Ken did love Barbie, he loved Christy, and Christy loved Ken back. And that they were perfect for each other. That's the way that it was supposed to be. I often wondered what kind of a world it would be if Ken hadn't even been around. We'd have two very happy fat ladies. So, there were so many Barbies that came into our house. I felt so bad for Ken. He had 15 Barbies in that house. Just one Ken, and I don't blame him, because women, we all have issues. Fortunately, in 2004, Mattel decided Ken and Barbie could separate or be apart from one another. They needed a break from one another. And Ken knew that was his moment. That was his moment he could marry Christy, and that's exactly what he did. He wasn't going to waste another moment because she was a wonderful woman with a heart of gold. And there's something that he learned, and it was no matter how good a woman looks on the outside, there's a guy out there sick to death of putting up with her crap. And it's never, ever going to be him again. Now, Ken and Christy, not Ken and Barbie, are living happily ever after.
Well, you can write Joan an addendum to that story if you'd like, and also vote for the person you thought did the best job today.